I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. As a quiet extension of what I'm sharing here, you may have heard me speak about the Architecture series. These books are now available for those who feel ready to go deeper. The Architecture of Light, the Architecture of Future Medicine, the Architecture of the Living Ethos, the Architecture of Peace. Each book explores a different aspect of how life organizes itself when survival patterns are no longer in control, and a new architecture begins to emerge. If you feel resonance, you can find them on Lulu and on my websites, divinedesign.it and anpeggy.divine.com. Welcome, Dervin, to this Divine Design podcast.
Thank you for inviting me, Anne. How do you want me to address you? Anne or Peggy? Ann-Peggy?
Ann-Peggy is my name, yes.
Okay. But you can
And,
address me, Dervin.
yeah, and I really like your topic on health because you have gone straight into a powerful chakra center, and you can take it from there because you can explain what you are doing and why you are doing what you are doing, because this is fascinating. I love your topic and what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, so I will bring a model for those viewers who are watching this. Well, this is the model that I always show to my male clients. This is what we call this pelvic bones. As you can see inside, that's the pelvic floor muscles. I don't know if you can see it.
I see it.
On the outside, that's another pelvic floor muscles. All right. So pelvic health is a new part of physical therapy. I think it just started to grow and be known to the public 20 to 30 years ago. So I got into pelvic health 3 years ago when I started as a traveling physical therapist here in Northern Virginia. I got into Jackson Clinics. I always commend that clinic because they are the reason why I am here right now. I met the pelvic guru who I look up to. His name is Richard Jackson, and he taught very well about how the body mechanics of that pelvic bone. And then one day, I got into an invitation to join a pelvic health seminar. And this is mostly offered to women.
Yes, it is. That's why it's so amazing.
Yeah, it's very common to women. And then I got intrigued that I will be the only male in my company who will be treating pelvic health. And so I got interested. I really got into my first class, and apparently there's only two male participants in that seminar. So I really got more interested because in men's pelvic health, most of the providers are women.
Yeah.
And as a man, cis man, if you're a male, heterosexual, if you are a man at birth or AMAP, most of us wants to be seen by a male provider because they know the body parts very well. So I got into this seminar, and there's only two male providers who are interested of treating men, and that provider is even a chiropractor. and not even a physical therapist. So the two of us are the models for women who wants to treat men. This is such a big gap to fill.
Yeah.
And so I attended more classes, and there's only one to two men providers
Yeah.
who are physical therapists. And so I got really invested about my mission to help more men in the community.
Yeah.
Men don't want to talk about this with their friends, with their families, or even with their doctors. They keep their problems to themselves
Yep.
until it gets worse.
Yep.
And so that's when I want to provide space for every man to come and just be themselves and express whatever they want, even if it's a profanity, because that's who they are. And they want to just unleash the beast on them. They just want to be heard. Men wants to be heard. And I am here to listen to them. I provide the space to every man so that they could understand what is pelvic health. As you said, it is a chakra. It's a powerful chakra,
It
and
is.
it is an integral part of our body.
Yep.
It is situated in the middle. I have another model to show.
Yeah. Perfect. We like visual. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man loves models.
Yeah.
Man wants to see what are they dealing with.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
This is the pelvis.
Yeah.
And anything going on right here is the integral part of our body. It's a form of survival. Pelvic health is a form of survival
Yep. It
because
is.
you pee, you poop, you procreate, or to have sex. That's
Yep.
how I always share to my clients. It's an integral part of our body. Above of that is your body, your trunk, your head, and below that is your legs, your hips. So everything is very important in this hottest chakra in our body. So that's why I get very interested about getting into pelvic health because there's no providers, men need space, they want to be heard, they just want to solve their problems. Men love to talk about sex, and
Yeah,
that's
they
what
do.
every day they talk about sex, and they get so excited because they have someone at least to listen to and to share the experiences about their sexual problems.
But also when you talk about it, because I have met a lot of men and also women that have back problems. We see, oh, my back, and so we think sometimes we think it's only something in our back, but it is actually the whole. It is the pelvic. It is the whole area. So, and even myself also, my second chakra was not in balance when I was little. So I have worked deep in my first, second, all my chakra, but it is on first, second, and third. These chakra are the chakra that often are in imbalance. They are often very out of balance, to put it like that, and you can feel it in your lower back. So lower back pain is also kind of, as you say, is a pelvic issue.
Absolutely. So that's how we all started. As a pelvic physical therapist working for 14 to 15 years with an orthopedic background, that's what I see all the time. Men has low back pain and they don't talk about urinary issues, going to the bathroom multiple times, or holding their pee because they have to because there is a meeting that they have to attend in 5 minutes. They hold their poop because they don't see any bathrooms around. I even have a client who has been going to the bathroom multiple times every morning, and that affects his quality of life. Sex, men either have early ejaculation or delayed ejaculation, and even not even reaching an orgasm. So those three is very important part of pelvic health. And
Yep.
secondary is low back pain. Low back pain is the first thing that men feels, and then the other things become secondary. And that's when the imbalance, as you said, comes up. as a pelvic PT and with an orthopedic background, I encourage every physical therapist to check and even ask politely, or when they become very close to their clients, to ask them how's their sexual life, how's their bathroom and bedroom life. So that, because that will open up a lot of questions uh, from their clients.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I'm sure that you know, but especially for men, the pelvic area also represent money. So, and men are more into kind of the identity is very linked to money. So, when the identity is linked to money, it is also the pelvic and the second. So, it is all of this is together. So, we have thought about it as a female thing, pelvic, because we are in uterus, we carry the babies, but men have this that they also just different relationship kind of, because we don't think so much about money normally. Women also do, but for men it is more about the identity of money and having, and it is in that area. So the body symbolizes all our life.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think we could always go back on how the society perceives man. Man is the head of the household. They have the responsibility to
Yeah,
work really hard,
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
provide for their family, financially, emotionally, physically, everything that they can provide. And as you said, they carry it. If women carry their baby in their womb, men carry responsibilities, and it shows in their pelvis,
Yeah.
in their pelvic floor. So I totally agree that pelvic floor, pelvic health is correlated to money. That's why men love to talk about money and
And sex,
sex.
yeah, they do.
When my auntie Jane, who is an acupuncturist, told me about that, men only cares about two things: money and sex. If you are not rich, you better be good in sex. That's why I always think about the back of my head to every man who comes in here. And when we become close, like, hey, you gotta look into where are you in that we're in that situation.
Yeah.
So I so yeah, so living in Northern Virginia, there's a lot of middle class family, and men who come to me have problem with their sex life. That's why I really ensure that through my education, um, and my expertise as a movement specialist, I incorporate both the body and mind through the exercises
Yeah.
that is related to sex, and to ensure that their mind is ready and their body is ready to go to
Wow.
have sex with their wives or to their partners.
Yeah, movement are so important. We need to. Every day I go on the mountain because this is. I need movement just as much as I need food. So kind of, I need to use my body, and I know if I don't, I become. It's like, yeah, we are built to move.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we are in this time that man sits a lot. Men don't think about that they are sitting on their pelvic floor muscles. Who is a money maker? Who makes their wife happy? If they keep sitting on that muscle, it will just be slipping. And after work, what do? They go for a long drive, 30 to 45 minutes to come home. After that, they even sit on the couch, watch football, watch sports,
Yep.
drink beers. There is not a lot of men who are very active. So I think that's something that, um, as a pelvic physical therapist, I encourage them to do. Be active, move around, use that pelvic health,
Yeah.
and
I love it.
money.
I love it. And I will ask you something. I don't know if you have thought about this, but because you are very, you include the emotional, the physical, and the movement and everything. So, and it's one last aspect we haven't spoken about, and it is the spiritual aspect of this. Are you working with the spiritual or not?
I have not touched that conversation to my clients. Maybe because I am not as very spiritual than I was before. Um, but I think that is something that I could open up in a conversation.
Yeah,
Um, it is very that's a very nice topic to talk about.
yeah,
For everyone's faith, right? Because I believe that if everything fails, you have to hold on to one person, and that's God. You're omnipotent, omniscient God. Um, I think living as well in the US, not a lot of uh, men are engaging in their religious religious community, or maybe I'm just not really getting into that aspect of my conversation with them.
oh,
I have one experience on that. So when I was starting my company, I had to do the usual old school going to different places like clinics, gyms, yoga, uh, yoga clinics. And then I went to a church, and then I left my flyers in the church. I spoke to their office and told them that what I do as a pelvic health PT and what I could provide to the community, in my community for men.
yeah,
And they were not as receptive as I was expecting
yeah,
because we're talking about sex.
yep.
I think the sex itself is not normal to talk about in the US. I think in most of the countries. So I think that is I think that's the barrier that I have when we're talking if we are combining sex and religion. Maybe if I look at it in a different way about um husband wants to conceive their wife because it's part of the religion. Man and woman needs to be together and procreate. Um, but maybe that's something that I could look into in the future.
Okay, because you did something that most people do when I talk about spirituality. Spirituality for me is not religion. But we are so adjusted to think, okay, spirituality is religion, because there are thousands different of religion. But spirituality is not religion. It is, as you say God, and God is actually a religious thing. So I have started to use the term divine design and also monad. All of us have a monad. It's kind of our God source that we can connect to, not a man that puts it there and predict what we are supposed to do. So that's more and more people are talking about spiritualism or the spiritual being of us. That's no. It is from. Have you heard about gnosis?
No, share me more about that.
Okay, it is. Um, if you go to the root in all tradition, we actually they are rooted for gnosticism. It's kind of direct knowledge, and direct knowledge is not a belief. So it is a big difference between belief and direct knowing. You ever had an epiphany or a kind of wow, you just knew something. It was kind of you had a download or it was like a miracle or something, synchronicity or something like that.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And that is a kind of direct knowing. Kind of you just you felt it. You felt it with all your body. If it was a direct knowing or yeah, you felt it. So to know directly from direct experience is something completely different from religion, because religion wants you to believe, and a belief is a thought. Direct knowing is go into your bone structure. It is you just know. It is a experience that you own with your all yourself.
Is that
What?
more like intuition?
Yeah, It is an intuition.
Okay.
So it is an intuition, and you know, and you feel, and you sense. It is not that someone say it to you, or it is a thought, mental concept, but it is a direct knowing. You have experienced it, and I travel in dimension. I travel in past life, future life, and and a lot of people say, I don't believe you. I don't believe in reincarnation. But I said, okay, but it is not a believing, because I experience it. It is a direct knowing. When I am in past life, I am with all my body there and then. I feel in my body as it happened here and now.
Okay.
So I don't say that you have to believe what I'm saying. I just say that for me it is a direct knowledge, and that's Gnosticism. It comes from, so before all religion, it was the same. It's kind of direct knowledge. You just know, and all of us have a soul, and our soul knows.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't have to go deeper into it, but I just wanted to clarify that, because most people, when we talk about, when I said, have you spoken about the spiritual health, and you said no, and you straight went into religion, and that's what I also did some years ago. Now I have now I'm grown up. I could maybe I could be your mother, I don't know, but anyhow, so I also saw this as the same, but now I do not. So religion is more about belief, and spiritualism is, or the spiritual part, it is direct knowledge. We know, because when we listen to our heart, we know what is true for us. I know what is true for me, as you know what is true for you.
Right. Right. Right.
So that was actually what I asked you, because it is a totally different to ask about what are you, where are you coming from? Do you listen to your heart? Do you kind of, instead of, do you listen to what is in the Bible? Not I a lot of what is in Bible is good wisdom, but you have to have high consciousness to see it in a more, yeah, in another way than only literal.
Right. 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 I think that's something that I have not really got into within myself
Yeah.
and with my clients. When you have mentioned about epiphany, I have um 2 years ago,
Yeah.
when before I started my company, I had underwent multiple multiple medical visits because I got diagnosed through an MRI or CT scan with a demyelinating disease. And that really shook my spiritual belief, I would say, because I have these thoughts, this mindset that I'm gonna die very soon.
Yeah.
I already have a deadline. And physically, I do my best to take care of myself with the help of my partner. And I will always be grateful to my partner, Michael, who took care of me throughout that journey.
Yeah.
Spiritually, I think that's when I went to uh, learn to hold on to my God, who will take care of me spiritually, mentally, and physically while I do my part. And I think that's a wake up call for me to do what I love,
Yeah.
and that's is opening up my company. If that is a spiritual belief, I
Yeah.
think that is something that I have experienced.
Yeah.
And I seldom share that story to my family, friends in social media because I am scared to um to know if it's really gone. I believe that I have underwent multiple MRIs and CT scan, and neurologist told me that I don't have a demyelinating disease, and that's when I have to undergo physical therapy and lifestyle changes to ensure that all that tingling sensation, that headaches, that weakness can be controlled with science. Um, and I think every Sunday I for the past 3 months, I try my best to attend a mass because spiritually, I believe that there's something that I have to hold on, someone to hold on to.
Yeah. I am on my most spiritual when I am in nature.
Okay.
So I'm more in my spiritual resonance when I'm nature more than in church. I was actually in church for some months ago, and the energy in that church, it's not to condemn anything or to but and I don't want to mention where it was anyhow, but the energy in that church was so low. So what I did, I wasn't supposed to share this, but I will do. It was so low. I have been in several, but and this was the first time I was in a particular place, so I wanted to check it out. Mm-hmm. And it was a very old liturgy, so I didn't know any of the song, and the other one also. Wow, this is very old. So most of the people couldn't. So it was only the priest singing, and it was so heavy song. It was the most heavy ceremony I have attended to in a church. And what I did when the priest sang, I closed my eyes and I sang inside with Elvis. I brought Elvis into that, and then I was in my own kind of and singing with Elvis in, because awesome. That was my way of holding the energy up, because it was so low. It was a but that was religion, and I was in my spiritual belief, and I was communicating with Elvis and said, "You should have been here, Elvis," and then I sang with him. So both of us have shared something we normally don't share.
Yeah, that's, I think it's part of us that we're afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to take risk.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we show our spiritual belief that we have to hold on and do whatever it takes to bring our energy up. As you said, bring someone like Elvis Presley. Oh my God, that is like I remember my trip to in Graceland, and Graceland is where he lives.
Yeah, I know. I want to. I will go there in the future.
You should. You should. If you're bringing Elvis to your church, you need to go to his house.
Elvis is here. Elvis is with me all because it has been so much Elvis this year, and I had no relationship to Elvis, and I channel. So Elvis came and said, "You are coming! Wow!" So yes, yeah. And that's why I thought, okay, Elvis here, you should bring your light here in this church.
Okay, I will think about someone to bring with me when I'm in that situation.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking spiritual belief differently. And I think that's something that I am learning with this interview from you.
Yeah. 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 We learn as we walk the path.
I agree.
Yeah. So I'm sure if I interview you another time, then you know a lot about spiritual life, and also you have gone further down into the second chakra, and you have, because this is, and also when Elvis came to me, and I knew nothing about, of course I knew about his music, but I have never listened. I hadn't listened to it, even though I loved dancing to it when I was dancing, but I never went into the Elvis story, his life, and nothing, because I'm not into people kind of putting them on a pedestal or something, because it's just that, okay, he did his thing, he was an amazing man, but I didn't know anything. I knew that he was a father of one daughter, and that's all. So when he come into my consciousness and started talking to me, and and I felt this light energy, then I don't know anything about Elvis. And then I started, so then I bought the first book about Elvis. So I bought it this year, the first book about Elvis. And I have now seen 3 2 documentary and 1 film about Elvis. So I just started this year. And I have learned so much from Elvis. I'm so amazed what I have learned from Elvis. Wow.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So yeah, so we can learn all the time. I learn all the time, and I like to be in awe, kind of, because when I am in kind of my innocent child archetype, it is like, oh, I'm curious, and wow, Elvis, you come here to teach me something. I love it.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah, that is really enlightening.
So this is spirituality. Now I'm talking about my spirituality.
Yeah, I think that's something that I have to dig in deeper. I think that's what man is having difficulty with, digging
Yeah.
deeper. Because even myself, I don't know that I have that deep inside of me. I think I have not uh looked into that.
But you will. You are still very young, but you will. You will. And also, it is a time now that the spiritual life of most human is waking up. It is a renaissance for the spiritual life. So I see it more and more, and a lot of the community I am in, it is a lot about spirituality, and it's more natural for women than for men. But it will come more and more to men also.
Yeah. I mean, do you have anything to share in terms of how to learn more about the spirituality of man that I could share to my clients?
It as I say, my spirituality is when I go in nature, because when you are in nature, if you're not only in your head, because when I was in nature when I was young, I was in my head, kind of, trying to find solution, trying to figure it thing out. If you are able to go in nature, going in the wood and be in nature and not being in your head, just be open, try to be open. That is spirituality, and then you get ideas, you get solution that is not linked to your programmed mind, because we are programmed, our mind is
Yeah,
programmed.
we are. We
Yeah.
are.
So a lot of people meditate, but I do not meditate the way most people do. I meditate kind of when I'm in a ceremony, but I call it ceremony because that's a download. But I every day go to mountain, and that's my meditation. I was today, and I said I need to figure out this and this. So when I went out, tuk, 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 it comes. I just put it out, and then it comes. So it is like being in an open field, and the solution comes to you, not from your program mind, but from something bigger. That's spirituality.
Huh. Huh, huh. Okay. I know there's only one thing that man wants to be big, and it's down there.
But, well, okay, then you have to go deeper into the spirituality, because when men are more spiritual, enlightened, they becomes better also at second chakra, because this is the light essence. Everything works perfectly when you open yourself. So actually, if you kind of open more to the spiritual, I'm sure that you can help men even deeper, because this is the biggest light. I remember when I worked as a therapist for several years, several of the clients said, well, we don't need you to do the technique. I had a lot of technique and tools. We want you to heal us. It's just giving energy, but they felt the flow that came through me. And that actually led me to my spiritual path, because all the client wanted me just to heal them, not to use my tools. So the natural is almost.
Yeah. I think when man comes to me, one powerful tool that I have is my hands. Um
They are spiritual. That our hands are spiritual instrument.
yeah, my hands, I feel that my hands is a very powerful part of my body
Yeah.
because I always put my hands to their body to ensure that they are moving smoothly. They are aware on how their pelvis moves, not just in a one direction, forward or back, side to side, but more like 3D. Men needs circular motions, if shall
Yep.
we say that. And
Yeah.
I think that's something that I look into to ensure that my powerful hands is in their body, teaching them to move properly and help them feel the energy in their pelvis so that it can come out when they have sex. or
Yeah.
even decrease their pain, or even decrease their pain.
Yeah. But I can tell you the one tool that will help you and your clients more than all other tools. The more you open, the more you integrate parts in yourself. The more you become spiritual, the more you open all your chakra, the more you open to all dimension of existence, the more you can help. Because when I became a therapist, the more I open, I am the tool. I am all the tools, so I know what to use, and I just tune to that. So you will just know intuitively, as we spoke about, spiritually, intuitively. You just know. You don't need. It's not because you have programmed it to know here, but you just know. You tune to them and just know by the energy.
Right, right. Yeah, I totally agree with you. As you said, being more open to integrate myself to their session. I think one thing that I've seen is it takes a while for men to open up.
Yeah,
It
it does.
takes 3 or 4 PT sessions. It takes a month for them to really open up, uh, to open up their problems, their issues in their home, in their work, in their personal life. And I try to break down barrier by opening up myself to them. So you are totally right about that. They will keep coming. The reason why they keep coming to me because they know, they feel that I am empathetic to them concerns, and I try to be more open-minded on their situation.
Yeah. And you will have so many clients in the future, so you are walking the path kind of. So and more men will find you. So I just saw you that yeah, you have a important role in men's health.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Oh well, thank you so much for recognizing me. That's definitely a validation to what I do in my in pelvic health and me as a person.
Yeah, and as you say, most are women that do what you do, but we have to put pelvic health on men. Us men have the same issue, and it's bigger than it has been because still today we have taboo, and this is one of the taboo.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
So being one of the first, you are one of the first men, and that's amazing. So people will find you. Oh, he is expert on pelvic health. Oh, I need to go to this man.
Yeah, and then let's both learn ourselves and our spirituality.
Yes.
Let's dig in deeper. What are our deepest pain, and let's both solve it.
Yeah.
Right? That's pretty cool.
Wow, I love this conversation because we were in a journey. How we at the same time as we explore because we have never met. We met in a program, but we have now. This is the first time we spoke together, and the conversation. This was the first conversation, and it unfolded naturally. Like we recorded it, and it could be that we just spoke and we didn't make a podcast. So we just open, and this flow come to us.
Right. I mean, it has opened up a lot of windows to me on learning spirituality and how I could integrate it to my practice. I think that is something that I will continue to look into,
Yeah, you
continue to
will.
explore, continue to share what I know about spirituality, and even ask that simple question to a man
Yeah.
if there's if they have experienced epiphany in their life.
Yeah, and now that you say so, when you have more experience and have more men come to you, I hope to, if you want to do another podcast, and then we can explore it even further and see what you have met after this opening.
Yeah, it is really opening for
Yeah.
me. And
So,
I can see the chakra or energy on your background.
yes. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for saying yes. You were willing to say yes, and then it's just opening.
Yeah, I will always say yes to an opportunity like this.
Yeah.
A podcast interview is an avenue, platform for me so that I could share knowledge, share experience, share what I know
Yeah.
as a pelvic health physical therapist. And it's not just about what I do, but of course, but my story, because I believe that sharing my life makes me feel I'm still worthwhile.
Yeah.
And that's what you have let me feel with this interview. So thank you so much as well.
Yeah, and thank you so much. I love this conversation. You may have heard me speak about the Architecture series. These books are now available for those who feel ready to go deeper. The Architecture of Light, The Architecture of Future Medicine, The Architecture of the Living Ethos, The Architecture of Peace. Each book explores a different aspect of how life organizes itself when survival patterns are no longer in control, and a new architecture begins to emerge. Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another heaven on earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.